back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So today was the Freedom March in Melbourne, and my good friend and co-host of my other podcast, the Oppression Chamber podcast, which is now out on Spotify and all other platforms. If you want to listen to it, type in Oppression Chamber. Anyway, Andrew Roberts, the martyr, Bogan Jesus, master of the intangibles. I've talked about him a few times. He gave up drinking. He restarted drinking, obviously. He's the guy who would go out drink driving and racing people. Rubbing is racing. Who got punched at the traffic lights because he hit someone's car. Rubbing is racing, baby. That Andrew Roberts. A true one of a kind. Really, he was one of the first IVF babies. He was an IVF baby in the early 80s, way before they worked out how to do it properly. Back in the early 80s, how they used to do IVF is they would get the lady's egg, and then they would go down to the peep show cinemas and scoop a little bit of still warm jizz off the back of a chair, and then mix it in a coffee cup and send you on your way. That's how Andrew Roberts was born. So this guy, this martyr, this Bogan Jesus, he was going down to the freedom marches today. Nothing was stopping him. We did an episode of the podcast, the Oppression Chamber podcast, on Thursday. We haven't released it yet. I'll release it tomorrow. And he's like, I'm going down. I don't give a fuck. Australia's slipping into fascism, the mask, and forcing you to wear a mask. It's like slavery and whatever he was going on about, which I sort of half agree with. That's the thing with Andrew Roberts, the Down syndrome philosopher. You can only ever agree with him to about 33%. That's as far as you go. He'll say some shit and you're like, fuck, this guy might be a genius. And then the next sentence he'll say something and you're like, this guy is a serious threat to society. He's a danger to himself and everyone around him. Very hard guy to pin down. One of his favorite sayings is... women are like children. They're impossible to control unless they know in their heart you will kill them. So that's the kind of guy you're dealing with. So he went down to the freedom marches today and I forgot to message him. I was going to say, good luck there, Gandhi. Get out there and fight for our freedom, but I forgot to. The thing is, I say that in jest, but if my wife wasn't pregnant, I would definitely have been at the freedom marches as well. I wouldn't have been up close and personal. I would have been off to the side a little bit. So I forgot to message him. And I was wondering to myself how it went. I'm like, did he even go or did he get too drunk and just forget about it? And I was about to message him when I start getting a barrage of messages. Photos of Bogan Jesus, the Melton martyr, on the ground, face down in the grass with 8 police officers on top of him, screaming. So the first photo I got was a blurred out fucking shit quality photo and I couldn't tell 100% it was him. I'm like, that's 88% Roberts. There's not many people that look like that, with that short front and mullet and that fucking head. So I start Googling arrests at the Freedom March. I couldn't see anything. I'm like, it's got to be Roberts. Then the other messages start coming in. I get another message. News footage of Bogan Jesus being arrested and thrown into the back of a divvy van by 5 cops. So the footage on the news is Andrew Roberts is getting up off the ground. He's handcuffed. He's in a fucking arm bar, basically, behind his back. The cops are saying, stop resisting. And they're walking him to the back of the paddy wagon to throw him in. And as he's about to get thrown into the back of a paddy wagon, he stops and he's like, so this is free Australia. I was just trying to visit a fucking shrine. I bet he thought he was going to say something much more fucking inspirational than that. So this is free Australia. I was just trying to visit a fucking shrine. Fuck, a missed opportunity there for him. He could have gone down in the annals of history if he had something profound and beautiful to say. He could have said, I regret nothing. He could have been like Ned Kelly, such is life, and then hung. But Bogan Jesus said, I was just trying to visit a fucking shrine. What a fucking idiot. I'll try and play it. I'll put the phone up to the microphone and see if it plays through so you can hear the voice of a fucking generation. I was just trying to visit a fucking shrine. So the shrine is where all the freedom fighters were going. They were walking to the Shrine of Remembrance. It's a shrine remembering the Anzacs, the Australian New Zealand Army Corps. So the freedom fighters were walking to the shrine to pay their respects. And it was a standoff between the police and the freedom fighters.
This is free Australia! Trying to visit a shrine!
I'm trying to visit a fucking shrine! Fucking Andrew Roberts. Andrew Roberts is also the guy who about a month before I stopped drinking, we went out to the festival bar during the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and I was trying to buy him a drink, and he gave me a flying headbutt to the fucking teeth, and then I beat the fuck out of him. He is a loose unit. But you need people like Andrew Roberts in the world. Keeps you in check. I spoke to him just before, and he got arrested. He got thrown in the cell. He didn't get charged with anything. All he got was like the COVID mask fines, the breaking the curfew and all that sort of shit. And he said when he was in the cell, he's like, I wasn't going to give them my name. I was keeping fucking tight-lipped. And then they said, if you give us your name, you can go home. He's like, Andrew Roberts. Do you need my middle name? Do you need my mum's maiden name? I can give you that too. Do you need my mum's name? I've got a sister as well. She has 2 kids. Do you need their name? He's actually become the face of the resistance now. He's plastered all over the fucking news outlets his photo of him being arrested in the ground with a fucking vicious rabid dog, angry face. I'll post all these pictures. I'll post them on my Instagram. They're already up on my Facebook. Check them out on my social media, Boyle Comedy, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll put them all up there tonight. But I'll be seeing the face of the resistance. I'll be seeing Bogan Jesus on Monday to do an episode of The Oppression Chamber, so that will be worth listening to. The Oppression Chamber's out on Spotify and everything at the moment, but we've only released up to episode 17 so far. We've done 60 episodes, we're just dribbling them out over the next week. So you'll have up to episode 17, and really they don't get good until about the 30s. Episodes 1 to 17 are from 3 years ago. We sucked. But I'll be releasing them all over the next week. I'll actually release a few more tonight. Fuck it. And just a warning, that podcast is not everyone's cup of tea. I've said that a couple of times. It's mainly me just wrangling the other 2 cunts to say something coherent. Anyway, that's it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.